Where'd he go? The skunk is here again. I was gonna feed the kittens, but if the skunk's in here eating, I'm not gonna feed the kittens. I mean, I don't have a problem with the skunk per se. I just don't want to feed it on purpose. What? Here. I guess I'll give you guys a little bit. Here you go. Here you go, kittens. Get in there and eat. Your eyes are matted. Shut again. Come on, get in there and eat. Get some goat food. No, this is chicken food, but I'm gonna go feed the goats again. They'll be happy. Then again, if I do get sprayed by the skunk, it'd be free cologne. Most people won't like it, but I will. I don't know if I like it that strong, that concentrated. There he is. He's hiding. He, she. That's all right. I don't mean it, no harm. Alright, you guys need to stay here. Don't follow me to the goat yard. They're gonna follow me to the goat yard. At least two of them will. Maybe not. I got away. Oh, no, here they come. Hurry. Hurry. My conquer is bad fur day. Hurry. I just don't want them to get lost down here. Goats got plenty of water. Rabbits. And food, for that matter. But in 2 more weeks, I'll start letting them out. So the miniature Saanens, or Saiyans, is what we're going with. And They're also called mini sables. And I got it on my phone as to why. I just don't remember. Here they come. And I might have the big goat scout sold already as far as the Nubians go. She's the more dominant, more aggressive one. Alright. Watch out. Hi. Don't make me hurt you. I'll kick you. She tried to get me. I'm gonna sell you. I gotta watch that one. Alright. What? Come here. Quicker than they are. Come here, Paul. Get you. I can get this collar off of her now. I've been trying to do that for a couple weeks. There we go. Paul, there's something right behind you. Paul, right there. Look, Paul. Paul. They're all trying to get their heads in that little pot. It's funny. Hey, Swirl. This is the only time she'll probably let me pet her. It's okay. That's how you get the cats to let you pet them. Right there. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, she's getting fat. She's not sunken in like she was. Both of them, her and the mother. It's just a little indentation and that's it. So she's the alpha when it comes to the females, but Paul still is the boss. Paul don't put up with no crap. But his horns are bigger too. So's his head. Paul's pretty tough. He's a tough old goat. At first he acted like he was a little intimidated. He wouldn't ram them. He'd let them eat because he wasn't as interested in it as they were. But now he's all like, that's mine. Get off. It's okay, Paul. Go ahead. Eat. He's got the orange collar because he's a wether. And what I was going to do originally was I was going to get Kikos and breed them with Spanish goats, or get Kiko Spanish crosses and breed them with Nigerian bucks, and make what I was calling a Skygerian. So I had the blue collars for the Kiko Spanish goat nannies and red collars for the Nigerians. Of course, the dark blue was supposed to be for the males and the light blue was for the females, but I misplaced the collars. And then dark red was for the male Nigerians and pink was for the females. And then I was going to do purple for the crossbreeds. So I was going to keep the nanny offspring. Scared me when he did that a little bit. I was going to keep the nanny offsprings and sell or eat the bucks. But now I've done even more research. I'm going in a different direction. So luckily I didn't lose any money on the Kikos with the whole David Ray incident. I lost money on the Nigerians, but I didn't lose money on the Kikos. Swirl. Hi, Swirl. She's like, oh, you're going to pay attention to me? I'm going to come over there to you. She loves people. What? She's gone. I don't know where she went. She hangs out over here somewhere. Hi. You're my friend. Yes, I like you. So apparently she's a good milk goat. She's been milked before. She's privy to being milked. She's more docile and probably would make a good milk goat, but she doesn't have a lot of practice, if you will. There's Swirl, where she does. Even though she's more aggressive, she's more experienced in being milked. But I'm not keeping these guys. These guys, I'm just keeping them for the winter. Mostly to keep Paul warm and company, because he was getting depressed. And so I already got a buyer for the big Nubian. These are Nubians. Although I think the big one is the only purebred Nubian. There's nothing in there but a collar. Let me get that collar out. Now you got it around your neck. She'll figure it out. Goats are pretty smart, generally speaking. She still ain't got it off her head yet, though. Well, that's what you get. Come here with that bucket. She's like, nah, I'm gonna wear it. Come here with that bucket. I guess I can leave it here till tomorrow. What? I want my bucket back. Make sure I don't got no stickers on me. Swirls! Swirls! Be nice to the kitty. Give me that bucket. Now 2 of them's got it trapped. That's funny. Okay, now only one's wearing it again. She's like, I'm keeping this bucket. I don't think she really wants it, but I think she's like running away from me just because she thinks I'm gonna get her or something. Come here, let me have that bucket. There you go. Yeah, the collars and the horns both help me maintain them. If I need to handle them, I got horns and collars. There's nothing in it. See, there's nothing here. I'll have more tomorrow. They like that grain now. But it's more or less just candy, and it's the way I give them their medicine. So, their herbal medicine to help keep the parasites down. And that's basically the only reason I give them, well, not the only reason, it's the main reason I give them grain. But the grain has extra nutrients that they don't normally get from just foraging, because I don't have, 1,000 acres for them to just forage for whatever they want or need. I do have Lesbodiza, that helps keep the worms down. There's those stickers. That helps keep the worms down. But, and black walnuts, but that's seasonal. So I put the black walnut in their feed along with some other herbs like tobacco, because if I tried to grow tobacco here, they'd eat that down. Goats are complicated. They're not really complicated, but they're kind of complicated. It's like you can't grow certain things for them to necessarily just keep the parasites down. Let me take a picture. Because they'll just eat it all, you know. It's like I want to grow some of their favorite stuff, things that they like to eat. But I have to grow it in a cattle panel ring. Otherwise, they'll just decimate it. So anyways, back to what I was trying to say earlier. So, Judas started out with Nigerians, and then, of course, he let them all die almost. But he tried to tell me that they were inbred and that's why they were dying. But the reality was it was neglect. But I didn't know any better. I thought he was a goat expert, and so I just believed him. And so I went out and got more goats like an idiot. And then half of them died. Then he tried to say it was my fault because I got too many goats. And we only had like maybe 14 or 17 goats. It was less than 20. And you can fit like 10 to 15 goats per acre, you know, or maybe it's 8 to 10, 8 to 15. I don't know. I'm just going to say 10. 10 goats per acre. And that's probably, you know, the small ones, not these big ones. But that's what we had, was small ones. So we had Nigerian dwarfs, which were milk goats. David Ray never milked them. And all he did was kill them, you know, let them die from parasites and neglect. So people kept saying, you know, why do you have milk goats when you don't even milk them? I'm like, I don't know. That's David's thing. And so the community, the society, Cedar County, my people, my associates here in Cedar County, basically talked me out of doing milk goats and into doing meat goats. And so I did a lot of research last year, and then this year was when I made the transition, or tried to make the transition from milk goat to meat goat. And of course, I don't know, that I guess pissed off Judas because he wanted it his way, which, you know, this is not his land, it's not his money. You know, he don't even do any work. Why would I let him have it his way? But he acted like, you know, he was God and it had to be his way or the highway. And so he basically punished me by sabotaging me and, you know, letting my animals get sick and die. He knew they were sick. He just let them die. And I came home to sick and dead goats. That was like, all right, fine. That was it. So I was like, I'm done. I'm just done. So I started liquidating and started selling everything. But what I was going to do was what I called Skygerians. And my plan was originally to basically just phase out the Nigerians, get rid of the Nigerians. It's like, why do I need milk goats when we're not even going to milk them? So I bought some Spanish Kiko cross goats. And the plan was to sell the Nigerians. So I bought 4 Kiko Spanish goat nannies. And I guess I should walk up to the greenhouse since these kittens are following me, and in that way they'll at least be at the greenhouse or near it. Anyway, so my point was I was Maybe I should stop talking. Hang on. Maybe if I run, they'll stay back there. I really don't want them to follow me up here. Not yet. They're too young. Alright, I think they're right. I think I lost them. Okay. So, the plan was to basically get these Kikos. They were a Kiko Spanish goat cross. And they already were pregnant. So originally I was going to go ahead and keep one of the offspring and sell the rest. Rest of the babies. The buck babies. Because they all were bucks. And all the babies were bucks. So I was going to sell the buck babies and sell the Nigerians. Now, David Ray had 2, 3, 4, 3. He had 3 goats left. But then Cleopatra ended up getting pregnant again. She had a bunch of babies, but she rejected most of them. She only wanted one. So David Ray ended up with 4 goats. Not counting the ones he stole from me. So my plan was I was going to sell off my Nigerians. I didn't care about what David did with his goats. I was just like, I was ready to get rid of him. And he was planning on skipping out on me anyways. You know, he was already stabbing me in the back. He was already sabotaging me. He was planning to jump ship and go with Sherry anyways and just bail out on me without notice. I mean, it was obvious. It didn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. You know, he basically just was at her beck and call and would neglect everything that had to do with me, just reject everything that had to do with me. He was just basically biding his time. You know, he was still living here and pretending like he was still planning on, you know, doing things here and helping out here and being part of the deal. But in actuality, he was plotting against me and he was planning to bail out on me, which I didn't care if he bailed, you know, but just don't fuck me over, you know. I mean, he was already screwing me over. I wasn't gonna miss him. I was like, hey, you know, get out. I don't care. Go. Have a nice day. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. But it was his sabotaging me that pissed me off. You know, he was already costing me money, but now he was costing me more money. Well, the Nigerian nannies are fairly easy to sell. Any nannies are easy to sell. The bucks, however, are a little bit more difficult to sell. So that's when I came up with my Skygerian plan. I was like, well, these Kiko Spanish goats are kind of big and they were jumping the fence. See, the Kikos were jumping the fence and the Nigerians were going under the fence. Well, I'm better at keeping them from going under the fence than I am over. So I thought, well, most people with a meat goat, they're trying to go as big as possible. Well, I only got 15 acres here. So I was thinking, maybe I'll breed a Nigerian buck into the Kiko Spanish goat cross and bring it down in size a little bit, make it a little more manageable. Then it would also have better milk, because the Kiko doesn't really have very good milk. I mean, it tastes good, I'm sure, but you can only milk them 6 months out of the year, give or take. Same with the Nubians. And so a Kiko is actually a Nubian, a Saanen, and another goat cross with the wild feral original Kiko goat in New Zealand. So basically they just beefed up the Kiko, made it a better Kiko. And so the Nubian, the Saanen, and the other one were what they bred into the Kiko to make a better Kiko. And I don't know what the original Kiko was called, but nonetheless. That's the new Kikos. So people had been recently breeding the Kikos with Spanish goats to give them more parasite resistance and hardiness. So I was like, that's all great, you know, for a meat goat. Now, I wasn't really planning on milking them, but, you know, I'm a prepper. In dire straits, I might want to milk them, or somebody else might want to milk them. You know, I might want someone else to milk them. Obviously, David Ray wasn't going to do it. And so I was like, okay, if I breed the Nigerian into the Kiko Spanish cross, it'll give back some of that milk quality. And according to Doc Kramer, my veterinarian, it would actually improve the meat, the taste and the flavor and the texture of the meat. So I was like, okay, cool. So Doc Kramer had me convinced to do that. So I was planning to sell my nanny Nigerians and my Kiko Spanish bucks, and basically breed the Nigerians with the Kiko Spanish goats, and then their offspring would be what I would eventually just keep. And it would be a smaller milk goat, but bigger than a Nigerian, yet smaller than a Kiko Spanish goat. And what I was going to do originally, because I'd done a lot of research, maybe not enough, but I did a lot of research. And the plan was to take, okay, so if I remember correctly, the male Spanish goats are smaller than the male Kikos. So the plan was to get female Kikos, breed them with male Spanish goats, and then cross them with a male Nigerian. So that will bring them down in size a little bit, not get them bigger. I didn't want them bigger. I wanted them the same size or a little smaller, but bigger than a Nigerian. And so that was the game plan. I was going to call them Skygerians. I thought it was cool, you know. It sounds cool still. I like the name, Skygerian. But since all that catastrophe with David Ray and his backstabbing bullshit, I got rid of all my goats. David Ray stole some of them. The only one I had left was Paul, the Weather, which no one really wanted. I'm sure I could have found him a home if I tried hard enough, but I thought, well, it's just one goat. I'll just let him run and do whatever. I didn't pin him up at all. I just left the gate open, let him go do whatever the hell he wanted. He was free, you know, a free agent. He can just do whatever he wanted. And that worked fine for 4 months, but then he started getting depressed. And then it started getting cold. And I was like, he's going to die. He's going to die from depression or freezing to death. Well, my lawyer had these Nubians. So I got a good deal on the Nubians. And I was like, I'll take them. You know, I was like, you know, they're 4 Nubians. He wanted 600. I was like, will you take 5? He's like, yes. So I got him for 5. And I could sell the big one for 2 right now. Easy. Probably even more. Probably 250. Probably get half my money back. So, I'll do some research as to what I should sell them for. This guy that wants them, he ain't got a lot of money. He's basically a bum, just like David Ray. Except he's probably a more honest one. In fact, he actually was honest. He's like, you know, I'm just like David Ray. I'd only work when I want to work, as much as I want to work. I don't really have a lot of dreams, goals, and aspirations. I mean, you know, he just came out and straight up said it. This is several months ago. He's like, I'm just like David Ray. I'm just a bum, basically. He didn't say he was a bum, but he basically said in so many words that I don't have any ambitions, really. I just work enough to keep myself alive. That's all I care about. I don't have any big goals or plans or dreams. David Ray talks like he does, but he's a bullshitter. At least this guy's not a bullshitter. So he doesn't have a lot of money, but he does want the goat. And so I'm thinking, well, you know, if I sell her for 200, I'm making a profit. She's my most aggressive goat. I would like to sell her right now. So I'm like, hey, somebody's interested in her, I'll sell her. So in the spring, I plan on selling all of them anyways, except maybe Paul, because he's a wether, and, you know, he's less valuable. And he's more like a pet, and I've kind of taken a liking to him. So I've done more research this year, because Sophie, my new potential business partner, she wants to do milk goats. I want to do meat goats. And so I was trying to figure out what the best meat milk goat there was, right? So I was researching the best meat goats for the area. And then I was researching the best milk goats for the area. And I compiled a list of all the goats that are in the U.S. that are popular for both meat or milk. And, or at least in this area, you know, in the Midwest. The Saanen, or the proper way to pronounce it is Sayin. I guess that's what I was told. The Saanen, or Sayin, and the Nubian were on both lists. So the Nubian is a good meat milk goat, and so is the Saanen, or Sayin. They were the only 2 that were on both lists. So I already knew the Nubian, you could only milk it for about 6 months, give or take. So I did some research on the Sayin, and I found out it was like the Nigerian, you can milk it year round. So I was like, well, shoot, there's a good meat milk goat right there. And I've got them all around me. A couple months ago, I was delivering to a feed store, and I was telling the guy about my Skygerian project. And he goes, well, why don't you just buy one that's already created instead of trying to make your own? And I was like, I don't know. I guess I'm just like a mad scientist, you know, but why try to reinvent the wheel, right? Why try and reinvent the wheel? So I was going to go with the Saanen. I decided, all right, I'm just going to go with the Saanen. Forget the whole Skygerian project. At least for now. Maybe later, you know, if somebody wants to try that, we can try that. But right now, I was planning on just going with the Saanen. It's already a good meat milk goat. It gets about 200 pounds, give or take. So it's got a lot of meat, and it's got a lot of milk. I recently found out the milk is a lean milk, so it's like a 2% milk. And then somebody told me that they're breeding Nigerian dwarfs in with Nubians, making mini Nubians. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, you know. So I started looking into that, just, you know, out of curiosity. Not that I was going to get any. Although I already do have Nubians. If I got a Nigerian buck to breed with them, if Paul wasn't fixed, I could have some mini Nubians. In fact, I think 2 of those Nubians are not purebred. Maybe even 3. The mother and the 2 children. I don't think they're pure Nubians. So, so I was thinking about that, but I wasn't really planning on doing anything with it, just research. And so then I thought about breeding the Nigerian with the Saanens, since they're both good milk goats. They're the best milk goats, apparently. But the Saanen's the best meat milk goat. But again, it's big. It gets 200 pounds. And I thought, well, maybe if I breed in a Nigerian, I'll bring it down in size a little bit, make it a little bit more manageable. 100, 150 pounds. I mean, if I was hell-bent on getting as much meat as possible, then I'd just go with a purebred Saanen. But or a boar goat, but the problem with boar goats is they're not as parasite resistant as the other goats. So you got to medicate them, and then you have other problems and other expenses. So, but then again, with my herbal blend, the boar goat might be fine. You know, if I have the proper herbs for them to eat and forage, then the boar goat might be just fine. So, but anyways, so Saanen gets about, or Sain gets about 200 pounds. A Nigerian gets about 50. So, 250 divided by 2 is about what, 125? Yeah, 125. So the average size is going to be about 125, maybe 150, and so that'll be a lot more manageable. Well, in that research, I found out that people are already breeding them. And they're called mini Sains, or I also found out they're also called mini Sables. And so I was like, well, back to what that guy at the feed store says. Why try and reinvent the wheel? Why don't you get something that's already made? And when he said that, I was thinking, you know, there's a couple goats over in Europe and the Middle East that are good meat milk goats. I thought, well, maybe I'll just import one of those. But then when I found out that the Sain is the best meat milk goat here, that we already have here in the US, I decided to go with that. But then when I found out about the mini Sains, or mini Sables, I did some research on that. Why try and reinvent the wheel when there's already something, what you need out there, right? Which is fine if there is what I'm looking for out there. If there's not, then I need to make it, right? So I done some more research on the mini Sable, mini Sain, and I found out that the milk quality is better because the Sain has like a 2% milk, where the Nigerian has a high butter fat, so it's like a really rich whole milk or even creamer. It's like really rich. You probably have to separate it in order to get the milk off of it. Separate that butter fat so that you can get a decent milk. But and I'm not a connoisseur on goat milk, so that's why I'm just kind of generalizing. But from my research and in talking with other people who already breed mini sables, mini Saanens, mini Saiyins, I found out that they get approximately the size that I'm looking for. The milk is a better quality because it's not too much butter fat, but it's also not too lean. So it's not too fat, not too lean. It would be perfect. So now that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the mini Saiyins, mini sables. And I'm already working on getting a database of people who already breed them so I don't have to make them myself. So that's the direction I'm going with the goats. It's the perfect meat milk goat. And the only time I would need to have a Nigerian bred in with them is if I get one that's too big. If one has an offspring that's a little too big and I want to bring it back down in size, instead of breeding it with another mini sable, mini Saiyin, I'll breed it with a Nigerian so that their offspring are smaller again. And then, keep that size that I'm looking for if I don't want to butcher it. If they get too big, then I might just butcher their offspring. If I'm looking for more meat, that might be what I do. So then all I have to do is select for the quality of milk. If they have a good quality of milk, which quite frankly I'm not too concerned about. But other people are, so I'll let them be the judge of that. And then, make sure they have good bags and make sure they have good mothering instincts. If they're good mothers and they're nice, they're not too aggressive like that big one. Because I don't like aggressive goats. They try to ram me, they're out of here. So, they can ram each other, I don't care. But if they ram me, they're out. It's like a rooster. If a rooster attacks me, off with its head. So, tomorrow, we're getting my mom's camper moved, and then I'm going to go to storage. My brother's going to help my mom load up some stuff. She's going to bring it down. Then I'm going to load up my deep freeze and take it over to Kaplinger, and I'm going to be wiring up Kaplinger for... and doing plumbing over Kaplinger. So we'll have the bathroom running. We'll have more electricity over there. We'll have a deep freeze. So if I did want to butcher some goats next year, I'll have my electricity, I'll have my deep freezer. I'll be ready to go. Yeah. All the goats I have now are too old to butcher, except for the two youngins. But I don't plan on butchering them, so I'm going to keep them till spring, and then I'm going to sell them for milk goats. I mean, meat goats, whatever, I don't know. Sell them as breeders. And then work on getting some Saanens. Or mini Saanens, mini Saiyins, mini sables. So I might keep doing some research on that. But that's pretty much the direction I'm going. And I got a new domain name. And it is basically, since it's a Saanen Nigerian cross, instead of Skygerian, I'm dropping the K and it's just going to be Sigerian. And I already bought the domain name. So, so that's basically going to be my website, SigerianGoats.com. Instead of Skygerian, it's going to be Sigerian. And that's the goats I'm going to do. It's probably the best meat milk goat for this area. And for a small hobby farm, if you will. I don't plan on being a hobby farm, though. So, anyways, I plan on making money, not being a hobby. But yeah, small homestead, farmstead, that's basically the size of goat that I want. And so once I get Kaplinger fixed up, set up, then I'm going to come back over here and start working on fencing. I got 2 goat yards. I need 3. But I'm glad I didn't put the fence line up here on the property line already, because we got our plans changed again. And if I did it the way I was going to do it, I would have to pull the fencing up. So I'm glad I didn't do it that way now. I mean, I guess I could have left it up, but then we wouldn't be able to drive in between the telephone poles. So the plan is, and of course it could change, things change all the time. And that was another thing Judas used against me. He says, oh, he changes his mind all the time. It's like, well, if I have to change my mind, I'm going to change my mind. But I pretty much got my mind made up about how I want to do things and what I want to do. But I'm not narrow-minded to where I can't change my mind. You know, I roll with the punches. So this is the property line. If Judas, David Ray, would have done his job like he said he would do, I would already have a fence here. So in a way, it's good that he was a lazy-ass piece of shit bum, because now I don't want the fence here anymore. I want telephone poles here. And basically the plan is, this land is 2 parcels. That land is 2 parcels. So if we share a well, or if I buy both properties, either way, I'm going to go back to the center of all 4 parcels, and I'm going to try and put the well as close to that point as possible. The power lines will pretty much run back to approximately that spot. That being said, the well is going to be a solar well if I'm going to share it with somebody, because I don't want it to be run on the grid and then have to fight over how much the electric bill is for the well. If we're sharing a well, everything's going to be 50-50. It'll be set up on solar panels and a windmill. It'll have its own power source, and in that way, any maintenance that needs to be done to the well is cut and dry, no guesswork. And be like, all right, here's the bill, here's your half, here's my half. And that's the way it's going to be. Now, if I end up buying the property, then it won't matter. I'll have a grid switch and a solar switch. I'd rather it be off-grid, personally. So I'll have it basically off-grid, but if for some reason that doesn't work, it's broke, then I'll flip a switch and it'll be on the grid. That's the plan. I'm pretty much going to do the same thing with Kaplinger eventually. So But anyways, this fence line is going to be the driveway. Whether I buy the other property or my brother or Sophie buys the other property, this is going to be the new road. I'm gonna put the telephone poles down the middle, and then basically 15 feet out from this fence line is where the property line is where the fence line is gonna be. So I'm gonna go 14 feet. The power company said 15 feet, but basically 15 feet has to be cleared. So there can be a fence here. And I really don't want any trees on the fence line anyway. So I'm going to go 14 feet. That's what I got designed for my roads. I can get any heavy equipment down here with 14 feet. My gates will be 16 feet. And they'll open inwards so the goats can't push their way out. So 14 feet from there, I'll have the fence line going straight back. And I'll have my goat yards and whatever I want to do over there. And this will be the road all the way back to the junction of the 4 parcels. That's how far back I want the road to go. Then that way, if for whatever reason we decide to subdivide and sell off a parcel, the road is here for all 4 parcels. And then nobody's landlocked. Everybody's got access. And it's a win-win. So that's my game plan. I got my entrance over here. There's also another entrance over there for cars. It's a small entrance over there. I got a medium entrance over there. This one will be a huge entrance. So that's the game plan. Of course, you know, if I don't buy the other property, they can do whatever the hell they want to do with their piece of the property. But that's what I'm going to do on my side. And Sophie's pretty much agreed with me about doing it on her side as well. My brother will probably agree with me too. I don't know. But if he buys it, he can do whatever he wants. It's his property. But that's the game plan. And now the property over there, if you can see my hand, there it is. On the other side of this property is for sale and potentially across the street even. So my neighbor over here wants more land. Well, there it is. You can buy that land. It's already cleared for you, so you can already put your cattle on it. You don't have to clear out any trees. See, he wanted to just rip out all my trees, and he wanted to buy my property and rip out all my trees. And I'm like, some of these trees I want to keep, you know. It's like, if I move, I'm going to want to take some of these trees with me or whatever. But first off, I got to find something better if I move. And I don't know. I just don't see myself moving. I'm probably going to stay here till I die. But who knows? That could change. So, anyway, I guess that's it. It's getting late. It's dark, obviously. I'm going to try to do a couple more things before I pass out. It's only 7:30. I've been doing this video for an hour. So I'm going to get some stuff done. I'm not sure really what I need to do right off the top of my head. But I got 1,000 things I need to do. So I'm going to do something for at least another hour. And then probably another 2 hours. And then go to bed. So maybe I'll shovel some of this gravel. Get my farm jack, lift up one end of this container, and shovel gravel underneath there. Because that's what I need to do. See, I can put my foot underneath there. It's pretty solid, but we need gravel underneath there. So I gotta jack that up, put gravel underneath it. It's fairly level. But yeah, only the middle is sitting on gravel. So like I said, I'm gonna jack it up and and shovel some more gravel underneath there. That's the other reason why I wanted this gravel here. I wanted to try to level this out. I wasn't sure exactly what I needed and how much and where. Now I do. So it's empty. I'll just jack it up with the farm jack. Shovel some rocks underneath it. And then put it back down. And then I'll clean all this crap out that David Ray left for me. And my torn up container that David Ray destroyed. I have to fix it. And then I can use it. But it's going to probably be next year sometime. Well, definitely be next year sometime because this is only November now. But almost November. So I'm not going to get this done in a month's time, but once I get the gravel underneath it, I'll get this all swept out. And then I'll go buy the boards that I need, and I'll start in the back and work my way to the front. And basically, I'm just going to resurface the boards that are already here. And I'm going to get that thick, heavy-duty plywood and just lay it down over this. And screw it in, screw it down. This will be the only weak spot. But it's still solid-ish, you know. Oh, then I gotta fix the leaks. It's got at least one leak over here. And then this pain in the butt is under my foot. But yeah, there's a hole right there. I gotta fix that. And I already climbed up there and put Gakko roof on it once. I put tar on it once, Gakko roof on it. But David never took care of it. And he never let me know that it was leaking so that I could take care of it. And I kept trying to get him to clean it out so I can get it up out of the mud, but he never would. So I had to get rid of him in order to get it cleaned out so I can get it up out of the mud. And it's basically ruined. It's going to cost me about $1,500 to fix it. But, oh well. That was 10 years wasted on a worthless eater that basically just brought me down. He was smart though. I learned a lot from him. Whatever wasn't a lie, because he was 50% bullshit. Oh, Cindy's calling me. All right, I gotta go. Bye.